As always, I'm Carl with Targets with Attitude. Today we're going to take a look at a Ruger. Yes, a Ruger, but not a gun, a knife. This is new for 2018 Ruger LCK. Rather nice little knife, thin blade. It's much smaller and lighter than most of the Ruger knives I've seen. Very sweet. Of course, what do you expect? It's not actually made by Ruger. It's made under license by CRKT, especially for Ruger. So, of course, it's going to be a nice knife. It's, as most CRKTs, its steel is 8CR 13 MOV. It's got a very sweet grip with some very nice texturing. Makes it look very nice and makes it very comfortable in the hand as well. And good gripping. You're not going to drop this thing. The pocket clip is a decent size and designed to keep the knife in your pocket fairly deep, which is nice. But unfortunately, you can't move it. It's stuck, set for right hand draw tip up. But since that's the way most people like to carry their knives anyway, it's not too big a deal. I could wish they'd take a page from Spyderco's book and make it so that you could move the pocket clip around to any one of 4 positions. But you know, Spyderco. Can't expect the same thing from everyone. But let's see how this does, straight out of the box. Since Ruger is famous for their quality control, and the knife is made and designed by CRKT, I'm expecting it to do fairly well. Let's see, shall we? Start with a piece of paper. Oh yes. Exactly what I expect from anything made by CRKT, especially if they're going to put the Ruger name on it. Let's see how this handles cardboard, shall we? And oh man, that is nice. That is sweet. Handles cardboard like a dream. Hang packaging test. Tea bottle. Gold Peak to be exact. But hey, you know, I'm not selling Gold Peak tea. I'm selling knives. Let's see how it does. And quite nicely. That was fast and easy. Paracord. As nice as it's done so far, I'm not expecting to have any problem whatsoever with paracord. And it sure didn't. Yeah. Going through the paracord like a hot knife through butter. What can I say? Now we're down to that tiny loop that I can barely hold my fingers. Let's see. This is where the real test gets. Blade is thin enough that it goes fairly far through the loop. Got it? Very nice. Not every knife will cut a loop that small, which is a plus. So let's see how it does on a piece of wood. Okay. That's doing quite well. No problem whatsoever. So if you need it for whittling or for making feather board for starting a fire. I'll work that just fine. So let's get back. Redo the paper test one more time just to see if that did any damage to the blade. I don't think it did, but yeah. That is still... That is nice. I wish I had a package of spices I could try opening with this. One of the things I have to do at my day job, so to speak, is open packages of spices to mix the rubs. And it's nice to have a very sharp tip like this to open up the bag. Let's see here. Actually, okay. Well, I'd open that up very fast. Not a good test. A heavier plastic would be used to hold the spices, but still fairly impressive. So there you have it. The Ruger LCK, made for Ruger by CRKT. A knife that I'm seriously considering adding as an everyday carry of my own. I'm still perfectly happy with the Roik I'm currently carrying, but this would probably make a nice little addition. It would definitely come in handy. But that's thoughts for another time. For now, I hope you found some interest in this little ramble. If you didn't know that Ruger made knives, well, now you do. And they've got an interesting lineup. I'll try to get some more in so I can do those for you. But I thought I'd start with this one since it is new for 2018. As always, I'll have a link down below to let you see where you can go if you want to buy one of your own. And if not, well, I still hope you check out my web store, see if there's anything you might like. And also, finally, as always, if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Come on, click that subscribe button. You know you want to. I mean, some of these knives I'm putting out here lately have not been reviewed by very many others. I know there's been a few reviews of some of them, but not a lot. So, in the meantime, I've got to get going, so I wish you luck. I wish you all the best and sunny skies. And remember, go and do something. No matter how small, no matter how insignificant it might seem. If it's worth doing at all, it's worth doing with attitude. See ya. Hey there. Just wanted to add a quick postscript to this video. Shortly after I shot it, before I had a chance to put it up, I noticed someone else had done a review of the LCK. And he was talking about how it's not that anything special. I got curious because I thought it was a really nice knife, so I started watching. And turns out he was comparing this to a Kershaw that is somewhat similar, and talking about how disappointed he was because it wasn't it didn't have this and that and the other thing that the Kershaw had. Now, I'm sorry, when you're reviewing a knife, or at least when I review a knife, I try to take it on its own value, based on its own individual characteristics. I mean, you wouldn't look at a human and say, well, Joe isn't as good as John, because John's got more years of engineering and is really, really good with air brakes, when Joe's specialty is not air brakes, it's communication systems. It's just, yeah, they're both engineers, so you're comparing apples to apples, kind of. But it's sort of like comparing Gala apples to Macintosh or Pink Ladies. It just, I just don't understand people trying to compare knives to each other that much. Okay? So, yeah, I really like the LCK. Matter of fact, I like it so much it's become one of my EDC knives. I probably don't carry it quite as often as I do a Ruger Hescher, which I like a little bit more, but they're two different knives. They do slightly better at different jobs. So comparing one to the other just doesn't make any sense to me. It's... Okay, I'm rambling. But my whole point is that I promise you, whenever I will review a knife, I will look at it as just that knife and on its own strengths and weaknesses. I'm not going to compare it to another knife. It's not fair to the knife. If you want that sort of thing, well, there are other people that do. Nothing Fancy, for instance, he looks at the philosophy of use of a knife. The late Boy Scout does occasionally. He will compare them to other similar knives. I'm not going to, because I want you to know how this knife stands on its own. And let's face it, what I think this knife may be like, which you think this knife should be compared to, may be entirely different things. So I'll leave it to you to do the comparison. I'll just let you know what I think so you can go ahead and take a look at it yourself and see if it's what you want. In the meantime, sorry for the rather long postscript. You take care, and as always, I'll be seeing you. Bye now.